taken the world by a storm in the last few years. So that is the same thing that we will be focusing on today, and we will be seeing how this can actually help us improve our lives. Okay, so I have a small pitch deck ready for all of you, following which we will have a good Q&A session. So let's get started. So I'm sharing my screen. Let me know when you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Okay, great. All right. So yeah. So as you know that the title for this session is Top 5 GenAI Projects to Crack 30 LPA plus roles, right? So that's the thing that we'll be discussing for. So I'm assuming that most of the audience that is present in the class today is primarily audience that is still in college, or is the audience that wants to change their job, right? Am I correct about that? Can anybody please maybe like confirm a little bit? Yep. Okay, great. So yeah, that's what I thought as well. So on the same sidelines, we all would require to make a few projects so that we can showcase in our resume, so that when somebody looks at it and they understand the importance of GenAI on top of it, they can consider your profile as something which is out of the box and gives you a better role. Like at least gives you that chance to interview for that position. So this is what this PPT is all about. Okay. All right. So moving ahead, right now, in case if we talk about the word GenAI, right? So it is not really optional anymore. Okay, it's not just a buzzword anymore. It's now changing the rules of the game. So many things have started to happen around GenAI in the last few years. I mean, just a few years ago, we had only ChatGPT, and now we have agents that can technically do anything for us, right? It can write documents for you. It can give images to you. It can write your code for you. It can give you documentation on your code or anything that you've written so far for you, and a lot of things, right? So GenAI is not really optional anymore. It is now a skill that everybody is expected to have. Okay. So even in my organization, even in my company, in my daily day-to-day activities, we also use a lot of GenAI to do a lot of things, right? And in order to do all of those things that we do on an everyday basis, we would need to know what it is and how it's moving ahead. And even today, when we actually interview candidates, we ask people, what do you know about GenAI? Can you tell us something about this or that? So that we have a better understanding whether this candidate is a good candidate or not, right? So what I'm trying to say, or my point majorly, is that GenAI is not really optional anymore. So it's something that you have to focus, right? It's something that you have to focus. So on the same sidelines, you would have seen a lot of demands that has increased in the industry. So the roles have really surged. There's a lot of money in a lot of companies, especially given to people who know GenAI, right? And this is the kind of new roles that has emerged because of GenAI. So if you're looking for a software-based role, then you can see this part of the slide. So software and research roles, now they have started to bifurcate into full stack AI development, research assistants in AI ML domains, and open source AI contributors in LangChain and Hugging Face, etc. Then we also have roles that are related to MAS, which is multi-agent systems. That is again something that is very trending right now. And so you have multi-agent system engineer, autonomous systems developer, etc. So many new things are now coming into picture. Therefore, opening so many doors for all the engineers and all the students into this world of technology. Okay, so moving ahead, let's try to understand what are these top 5 projects. Okay, so I will stop technically over here on this slide, and we will discuss in depth what each project that I've written over here is going to do. Okay, so this is going to be an open-ended discussion. It would be amazing if you can talk back to me and ask me questions. We can think about these questions in real time. There will be some questions whose answers I would know. There would be some questions whose answers I would not know. Therefore, we will think together and we'll come to a common conclusion. Okay, so on the basis of my own evaluation of the resumes I have seen, the resumes that I have personally liked a lot, which had really good GenAI projects, I have picked all of these projects from that certain data set. Okay, so let's try to talk about these 5 projects related to GenAI that can help you land a very good job. Okay, so these are the top 5 projects that you can see or written on my screen. So the first one is text to SQL system with clarification engine. Okay, are you able to understand what this project will do? Are you able to understand what should be the expectation of this project? Like, what is this supposed to do? You can write your thoughts in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself if you have that capability. So Krishna PS is saying text in natural language to SQL queries. That is correct. That is technically correct. So right now in today's world, a lot of people, a lot of businessmen, a lot of even engineers, they have a lot of real life scenarios in their head, and we want to like use this real life scenarios in database queries. So what if we had a system that could actually take that real life scenario, could contain the information of the database that you technically have, and then use it all together in order to give you a database query that actually works, right? So that you don't really have to spend a lot of time in figuring out what will be that database query, right? So this is what this particular project is going to do. So text to SQL system with clarification engine, right? So maybe you can just give a regular prompt or a very simple text, and what it will do is it will convert it into SQL type queries. Okay, so what does this require? It will require some core features like natural language processing. It will require something like error handling mechanism, that is what to do under a situation when the query that your system has given is incorrect, right? Maybe let's say try to run it on your SQL system, and it gave you some error or some sort of a result that you did not expect. Then how do we handle that situation? It must also have multi-database support. For example, you cannot just only write a system that works on MySQL. Maybe you can start from there, but then you can also make it, multiple database compliant. That is, you can make it something that works with MongoDB, Cassandra DB, Oracle DB, Postgres DB, etc. So maybe you can think about that, and then maybe you can think about how you can optimize it in real time by trying to make sure how you refine your prompt, by how you minimize your tokens so that you pay less cost in order to generate this or in order to work with this system. Okay, so this is my first project that I think is really good and is one of the best ones out of all the ones that I've written in order to get you a nice 30 plus LPA job. Okay, so what do you think about it? I want to hear your thoughts. If you have any questions, queries, anything at all related to this, what I just explained. Please do not ask me to summarize it. Otherwise, I will only feel like an LLM myself. Do you have any samples? I mean, I don't have any samples with me, and even if I did, I won't be able to show you on my personal machine because this is the information that would be on like on my company's machine. But I can still draw a flowchart for you if that is okay. If in case if that is what you want, I can draw a flowchart for you if that is what you want. Okay, let me do that for you then. Okay, let's go to draw.io. Yeah, so the way it's supposed to work is, okay, so you are a user, okay, you are a user who will give a prompt to a system. Okay, so you will give a prompt to one system. The system will take that prompt, and this has to be doing some sort of NLP on top of it. Once that NLP has been processed, it will give your information to some sort of an LLM. The moment this has happened, your LLM must know the context of your database. So this is going to be your database. Your LLM must know the context of your database, and then can take the information from this NLP. Once all of this has happened, it can do either two things: either directly give you the output that, hey, this is the query I think you should be running. Let me see if I can write it in a better way, draw it in a better way. Actually, it's not that easy. Okay, I'm just trying to draw a diagram. So it's not the most simplest thing to draw with a paper and pen. Okay. Yeah, something like this. Okay, so you give the information to an NLP. The NLP processes that and gives it to the LLM. The LLM must know the information about the database, maybe some context, and then it can either directly give the information back to the user, or it can execute the database query by taking your permission and check for any errors that the database is giving. If that happens, if in case if that error happens, then that error will travel back from the LLM back to the NLP, then NLP will take that error message, will do some processing on top of it, and then give it back to LLM. And then again, the process will repeat until you get your desired output. Something like that. I hope that helps, Krishna. Okay, Rohit has one query. Current work as React.js developer with last 3 years. Just I want to know that now. Okay, your question is very confusing. You say, I have one query, current work as React.js developer last 3 years. Just I want know that now want switch for AI. I don't understand your question at all. So maybe you have to, like paraphrase it for me so that I can understand it. Ganesh has written, I think we can do this with ChatGPT, right? So what is special in it? Okay, that's a good point. We can do this for ChatGPT, but can you give ChatGPT the context of your database? That is the main question. Can you give ChatGPT the context to your database? Can you give ChatGPT the power to run that database query on your database and listen for any errors or success? Can ChatGPT do that? No, it requires a lot of manual intervention where you will have to take the error and give it to ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT has to analyze it without the database context and has to guess what is going to be the answer, and then maybe you will get the correct answer. Right? Krishna is additionally asking, would we need an MCP to run this query on DB? If we do this as an MCP, that will be an incremental feature. Like if we add it, then it will of course be a additional plus point. I hope that answers your question, Ganesh and Krishna. Okay, if you don't have any questions, can we move to the next project? I'll still wait for 1 or 2 more minutes in case if anybody has any more questions. The question is asking, hi there. For landing an AI developer job, what all skill sets we must have and what all open source projects code we can refer? LangChain and Hugging Face are the open source projects you can refer. For landing an AI development job, I think you should be very familiar with deep learning and Python as a programming language. And I think maybe even LangChain and Hugging Face and RAG. If you know this much, you're good to go. Okay, Ganesh says, I am a Python backend developer. Last month, I lost my job. How can I get new job quickly? Is this webinar is helpful for me for my job search? Well, I'm not sure if it's helpful in your job search because I'm not connecting you here with anybody who is from a different company who can land you a job. But they can definitely give you an insight on what's trending in the market and what you can do in order to go along with that trend. And is there any way to find a job quickly? Well, technically, no. I have personally lost a job in the past and I know how it feels. But landing a job quickly is never something that you should be like that can work. So it will take its own time. And even if you do get a job quickly, you don't know if that is a company you want to join or not. So if you are looking for a company that is good for you, that you want to join, it might take longer than what's the idea of quick in your head right now. Okay. Since most of us are CRUD-based developers, how do we fast track into GenAI world? By taking, by studying GenAI, definitely, right? So you have to take a learning track of learning GenAI. Even in my case, I also did take a learning track to, gain a lot of GenAI knowledge. Like I, of course, graduated like years before you guys did, right? So I've been working for the last 4 years. Therefore, I graduated in 2021. At that time, GenAI was not this popular. At that time, what did I do? What did I know? Machine learning, and backend engineering and front-end engineering. That's all I knew at that time. So I also had to take a separate track for learning GenAI related stuff. And here I am today as somebody who's trying to talk about GenAI to a lot of you people. So yeah, that learning track would be necessary, whether you learn it by yourself, by, querying and like browsing the internet, or maybe you take up a course, anything that works the best for you. Can you suggest some great materials and resources? Well, I mean, I'm talking here from the on behalf of coding ninjas. Of course, coding ninjas, right, goes without saying. All right, so this was our first project. Can we move to the next one? In the interest of time, can we move to the next one? All right, let's move to the next project. So yeah, this is the next project that I have written. So it's called fine-tuned LLM for synthetic data generation. Now, what do you understand by this? What do you understand by this? What do you understand by this? Like, just guess. Guessing is absolutely fine. Well, I think we do have a response in the chat box. One second. So Krishna has written sample or test data generation based on data models. That is correct. So technically, you can basically do an LLM based integration for generating synthetic data for the kind of information you're looking for. So maybe you can connect this LLM with your code base and ask it to generate synthetic data, maybe to test something, to maybe like talk about, to mostly test something, right? So for example, let's say you are going to create a travel website, okay, where you have to book flights. Now, as long as you don't have the flight data, you will not be able to test how well your system is working, right? And sometimes you just need a lot of data. Now, it's not easy for anybody to manually go and create that data, right? So you can just use the system, create a lot of fine-tuned data just according to the use case you're looking for. This is less complicated according like compared to the first one. It's mostly very simple and can be done easily because it's technically just LLM generation. So yeah, it should not be that difficult, but yeah, it's a good project. Any questions about this one? What is the training data for this? There is no training data. There is no training data. There is no training data. So training data will be when we have a supervised learning, right? We are not trying to supervise anything. There is no training data for this. Or do we have any specific parts of LLM that could help us? Well, technically, no. Either, I mean, if you want to use your own LLM, then yes, train it. But in case if you don't, then I don't think we have a correct question when you say a specific part of LLM. That's what I believe. Like there are document summarizers, image classifiers. Oh, okay, that way. No, I don't think so. It would still just be a basic GenAI model. It should just basically be a basic GenAI model. Any more questions? Any more questions? Okay. All right. In the interest of time, I'll move to the next one. So this one is called as personalized recommendation system. Now, this is something that most of you have already seen. In Spotify, you have seen this in Spotify, Netflix, Amazon Prime, everywhere. So if you can create something like that, that would be great. So this one would be a nice one. Yes, Krishna, tell me one question that you have. Yeah, please go ahead with your question. How this is different to the existing algos in YouTube, Google. Some differentiators. Okay, so I think the like when we try to use personalized recommendation system, right? So right now, what does YouTube does? They track your activity, right? They track your activity, and on the basis of your activity, they try to collect the data of what kind of videos you're interested in. They might have associated this video with some sort of keywords, and then they try to find another other videos that matches that same keyword, and then whatever videos have a higher score, that is a video that you will be shown as your recommendation. That is what you have. Okay, so this is basically just a machine learning slash data analytics based recommendation system. That is what companies like YouTube, Netflix they use. But when you talk about personalized recommendation system, it should know about like it can basically know about your personality. For example, you can say that I want a story which is, let's say you have written that, can you suggest me a movie which is romantic and takes place in the 1900s and does not necessarily have a happy ending, then it can show you Titanic. Now, this is not something that Netflix or YouTube can do, right? So you can create LLM based systems that can let you take this prompt, and on the basis of this prompt, it can help you recommend systems or recommend movies or recommend any kind of content. So this is one interesting thing. So this will also require a little bit of NLP, but mostly it's going to be LLM and REG based. I hope that helps you with your answer. RAG in nutshell. Okay, it will take some time to explain what RAG is in a nutshell. But if we still had to think what RAG is, uh, let me think. So you can say that RAG is technically nothing but a small technique that can make any LLM smart by giving them access to like data. Like yeah. So if it has updated data, it can give better responses. So technically what happens is that LLMs are trained on some certain set of data, and therefore they will start giving you wrong answers or outdated information if you keep asking questions according to what's happening today. For example, if your LLM was trained on data which was updated in 2024, and if you ask that LLM who is the president of the United States, it will tell you Joe Biden, even though the correct answer right now is Donald Trump. So RAG can allow the LLM to access latest information, even though it was trained with older information. So that is what RAG can do. Okay. So this is going to be our third project. Any questions in the third project? Recommendation systems, LLM plus RAG. If you want me to talk more about it, if you have some certain questions about it, you can tell me. I can actually help you with that. Okay, I see a Q&A. For full stack web developer, which AI tools can be used? You can use Cursor, you can use Warp, you can use Windsurf. I think that should be enough, I guess. Okay. I see one more question. How does system handle situations where the retrieved data might be conflict? Can you give me an example, Sanjana? When the retrieved data might be conflicting, like I need an example to understand your use case better. No, Cloud Code is also very good. I use it a lot. So yeah, but you can just get Cloud coding on your agents, right? Like Cursor and others. So I'm still waiting for the response by Sanjana. But in the meantime, I have a few questions in the Q&A section where Yash has asked me, is C++ language is best for full stack web developer? No. C++ cannot let you do full stack development. So definitely it's a big no. As a native to GenAI project, can you give sequence to develop them? As a naive, okay, as naive to GenAI project, can you give sequence to develop them? I think you have to learn first more about what GenAI is and what tools and technologies are used in GenAI, and then maybe you can think about the development side of it, right? So because you're absolutely naive to it right now, my suggestion to you would be to maybe like take up a course outline that can help you to learn and understand GenAI in a lot of depth and detail. Which language is the best? Well, not relevant to our session, but if you there's no correct answer to this question. Everybody has a different answer. But in my opinion, if you want one language that can help you do full stack web development easily, then JavaScript is the correct answer. So in that is the only language that can let you do full stack development in the same language. Otherwise, you will always have to use a combination of JavaScript and any other programming language. Okay, coming back to Sanjana's system with users past preferences in a recommendation using an LLM. Oh, okay. So in this situation, let's say you're looking for a romantic movie, for example, and you have always selected your preferences as comedy movies. Okay, then I don't think it's going to take care of your comedy preferences in order to recommend you a movie on the basis of what you've written, because what you have written is what you want right now. So it should not be considerate of all the parameters about the kind of movies that you might watch. For example, let's say I said I want a romantic movie. Maybe it will give me romantic movies higher in preferences or more personalized for me according to the actors and actresses that I like, but maybe not necessarily related to genre. Right? For example, let's say I love comedy movies and I have written a prompt, give me a romantic movie. Right? That does not mean that it will give me a romantic and comedy movie. It will try to fetch me a romantic movie only, but it can take care of other parameters like who is the actor and actress in that movie, for example. So if let's say I like Aishwarya Rai, then maybe it will try to give me a romantic movie which has Aishwarya Rai in it. Something like that. So it is using my personal context of on top of it is using my personal context, which here is basically my favorite actress, and then giving me a movie recommendation according to that. Are you able to understand what I'm saying, Sanjana? Okay, all right. Anybody else? Any questions in the third project, which is the personalized recommendation system? Otherwise, I can move ahead. Any questions related to the third project? Okay, I see that there are no more questions. Khushi is asking, what exactly does AI ML project manager does? Well, they try to design the product, right? They try to take care of the deliverables and what are the things that will be needed. They try to keep a track of what is done, what is not done, etc. That's what they do. That is what they do. Okay. Any more questions? Pratik is asking, can AI replace software engineers? Not right now. If you look at the code written by AI, initially it will look wow, it did the job immediately, but it has so many errors. You might need to really look with your software engineering expertise to, like get it out of your head. So you can consider AI as an intern that knows a little bit of everything, but is not perfect. It does not know your use case. It does not know why you need it. It does not know how you do it, etc. Okay, so I'm going to assume that there are no more questions on the third one. So I'll move to the next one, which is credit report analysis using alternative data. Okay. So about this one, which is hmm. So credit report analysis using alternative data. What does it mean? It's technically a part of ethical AI. Now, what it basically means is, do you guys know about credit reports, credit score, credit report, CIBIL score? Do you guys know about this? Do you guys know about this? Do you guys know about credit score, credit report, CIBIL score, etc.? Well, in case if you don't, let me tell you what it is. So in every country, I mean, I'll give you an example from India's perspective. So in India, we have something called as CIBIL score, which is also called as credit score. So what it's basically a number. I forgot what's like, it's from 0 to 800 something. I forgot what is the maximum number for a credit score. But this number tells you how good you are when it comes to giving you money. So let's say I take a loan from the bank. Let's say I took a loan for 1 lakh rupees and I'm supposed to pay this loan in EMIs. Now, what did I do? I took this loan, but and I started paying my EMIs. I paid for 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, let's say 12 months EMI I paid. So after 12 months, bank will see that, okay, this is an honest customer. They took the loan, they returned back all the amount in time with the correct amount of interest. Everything is good. So in future, if somebody wants to give a loan to this person, everything is okay. This person is trustworthy. Are you understanding what I'm saying? That this person is trustworthy. Okay. So this is how you are ranked, and you get a score for your, like how you behave when you take a loan technically. So you get a score for that. So out of 900, you get a score which is 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, whatever. Okay. The higher your score is, the more banks will be okay to give you money, right? So it will be easy for you to get a loan from bank of any kind, personal loan, home loan, like car loan, etc. It will be easier for the banks to give you credit cards. And when they give you credit cards, it will be easier for them to give you credit cards with higher credit limit, etc. Okay, so these are some of the things that are related to credit score. Okay, the higher your score, the better it is for you. So, as somebody, I mean, if you're still in college, just a small advice that I will give you: try to build a good credit score always. Even if you don't want to take any loans, try to always make a good credit score. It will always help you in the future. Okay, when you have been working for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, that good credit score will come and start rewarding you. Okay, I mean, just a small piece of advice outside the session. Okay, so now credit report analysis using alternative data. What does it mean? Now, can you guess what does it mean? Can you guess what does it mean? Just make guesses. Wrong guesses are totally fine. No idea. Okay. So what it will do is basically right now what happens in order to take credit card or in order to think about credit score, we think about what are the ways we can actually analyze it. So we can think about credit history of a user by looking at the loans that they have taken and by looking at their credit card statements. We have some very stupid mathematical equations that that are some mathematical formulae on top of which like a score is made, like. And what about the people who are like who don't do a lot of transactions in banks? How about those people? Okay. And then when the situations change, then these scores don't change. For example, if you are in COVID, let's say COVID-19 pandemic time, then at that time, of course, everybody's transactions were low. People were paying loan late. People were like making payments late because their businesses was not thriving, etc. Now at that time, of course, if we go ahead with the same conventional methods of calculating the credit score, it will not be a good way to get a realistic picture. Okay, so we can think about adding alternative data sources other than these ones. For example, by trying to look at digital footprint data, by trying to see UPI transactions that a user has done, by trying to see e-commerce behavior of a user, by trying to see how much they shop online, by trying to see how much they, like what kind of engagements they create on a social media platform like Instagram, LinkedIn, etc. You can even think about, like bill payments like electricity bill, water bill, gas payment bill, rent payment, mobile phone bill, internet and cable bill, etc. And what kind of bank transactions they do, are they stable income, are they having stable income, and many other things, like many other things. You can be more creative when it comes to thinking about what can be your other alternative data sources. But yeah, you can take all of this data and start to do credit report analysis on top of it using GenAI. Even if you don't do GenAI, even if you just write basic data analysis on top of it, I will still be impressed, honestly saying. I will still be impressed. If you can do this much, trust me, you're a great engineer to work with, and this would be great. This is more of a tougher one out of all of them, but it's also very interesting and very intuitive to learn. Are you able to understand what I said about this fourth project, which is credit report analysis using alternative data? Are you able to understand what I said about it? Yes or no? Okay, great. So this is about credit report analysis. Anybody, any questions? Oops, sorry, my bad. Anybody, any questions? Okay, no questions. Interesting. Okay, in case if there are no questions, then I will move to the last project, which is self-hosted LLM with optimized inference. Now, what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? So basically, in this, you will try to create a system that is very good for deploying large language models on your own infrastructure using something like VLM, maybe. So I think this will mostly fit for those people who are already working professionals. So if you're a college student, maybe this is not the best thing that you can do because it will start to come into a category beyond your knowledge level. So if you are somebody who's a working individual, this can be a good project for you where you can think about making a production ready system for deploying and optimizing LLM models on your own infrastructure using modern frameworks like Oilama and VLM. So this will basically give you very good. So basically, self-hosted LLMs will help you with the problems of data privacy, costing, customization, making it offline, latency, etc. So I think you can think about using Oilama for local development and management, and VLLM for production scale inference. So this is what would be my suggestion for those who are working professionals. So self-hosted LLMs with optimized inference is what I would suggest. So you can even do this with Python, actually. It's not that difficult. If you just read about it a little bit, you will be able to understand it. If any college student is not able to understand it, I totally get it, but trust me, you don't have to worry about it. It's like studying 12th class maths when you're just in 8th standard. So it's totally fine if you're not able to understand it for now, but I'm assuming the folks who are actually working professional, you're at least able to understand what I'm trying to say when I'm trying to talk about what this project means. Okay, any more questions? Any questions about this one? Anybody who wants to talk about this? Any confusions? Anything that you would like to share? Anything you would like me to talk about? Whatever it is, you can tell me. Okay, seems like there is nothing. Okay, so on that note, this is the top 5 projects that I had, which can actually give you very good salaries beyond 30 LPA for your opening job inside the tech world. Okay, so right now it is one of the best times to learn Gen AI, and it absolutely leads to, I mean, it's actually not that easy. So it's everybody is trying to learn Gen AI, but it can become challenging sometimes. Okay, it can get challenging sometimes. So we have a set of tools, you can see that is written on my screen, which are primarily used in Gen AI based projects that you are seeing on my screen right now. And we at Coding Ninjas, we actually help you also into learning Gen AI based systems. So we have a course over here which is called as Advanced Certification in Gen AI and MAS, and you can see the monthly plan for the same. It's a 6 month duration course with live classes on Saturdays and Sundays every day from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., which also gives you a one-on-one AI powered doubt support and success partners as well. Okay, so we have a Google form shared in the chat box. If you fill that Google form, you might even get, you can use Mentor 30 for 30,000 rupees off, which is valid for 24 hours from the time of being sharing. And you can also book in one-on-one expert call for yourself in order to see if this can help you in your career moving ahead. Okay, so that's pretty much it from my side. If anybody has any questions about the topics of GenAI, you can ask me. But if it's anything that is related to the course, then I would request the representative of Coding Ninjas that is present here with me on the call to help me with those questions. Okay, like fee structure and who can join, who cannot join, how long it is going to be, etc., etc. So if the representative from Coding Ninjas, if you are here, I would be very enthralled if you can also unmute and take those questions if it's coming in the pipeline. In the meantime, if there are any questions that are related to the technologies, I can talk about it. So we have a few engineers, sorry, a few people asking about the fee structure. Would you like to talk about it, the fee structure? I mean, of course, you know more information on this than I would.
Sure. So thank you so much, first of all, Shantanu, for such an insightful and informative session taken. So guys, this was it from Shantanu's end for the masterclass today. Now, before winding up the masterclass, I'll be just giving you an overview of what we are actually providing being the part of this program here in Coding Ninjas. So this will be a 6 months live program, wherein once upon enrollment, we'll be giving you a welcome kit, which will contain some sort of letter, ID, T-shirt, zipper kind of things. You will have your orientation done from IIT Mandi itself, and you'll be getting some guest lectures there too from IIT Mandi, directly from the faculty itself. You will have a chance to attend a one-day campus immersion for certification ceremony after successful completion of the program. 10 plus GenAI projects to work upon your skill sets, to practically implement, to sharpen your skill sets, whatever we have learned being the part of this program by Coding Ninjas. 24/7 AI support so that you can clear your doubts then and there itself. You will not have to wait for another live class. You will not have to wait for another mentor to be available to join in and help you with the doubts and queries. With our 24/7 AI support, you'll be able to clear all the doubts and queries then and there itself. Whenever, wherever you are learning, you'll be able to clear all your doubts and queries. Some career services where we'll be helping you in resume review. You'll be having the job portal access of NSDC, and you will find yourself the part of an exclusive 10x developers club. Now, once again, being the part of such a great community helps you out in bringing the best out of your skill sets, best out of your learnings that you carry with yourself, and also in establishing some real good connections throughout the world. And then after proper upskillment, after successful completion, successful upskillment, you will find yourself ideal to hunt for the job roles like GenAI engineer, multi-agent systems developer, prompt engineer, and so on, guys. Once again, this was just an overview. If you want to know more about it, if you want to deep dive into it, you can simply click on the link which has been shared into the chat box. Fill in your basic details and get a chance to get in connect with our counselors one-on-one. We'll get in touch with you and we'll be helping you to deep dive into it to know more about the program by Coding Ninjas, how this uh, can be impactful for the goals that you have set for yourself. May it be, continuing into your own domain, whatever the domain that you are working in, may it be switching into the new domain, how this GenAI program would be helpful for you. Uh, that will be helping you out to deep dive into it. Uh, as that will be a one-on-one conversation, you'll be able to clear all your doubts and queries then and there itself. And after the whole discussion, if it seems like this is something that you're looking for, this is a perfect fit for you, then we'll be helping you over the call itself to get enrolled in one of our upcoming batches for the program while getting the scholarship benefits as well, which was mentioned by Shantanu Shivam as well into the webinar. So this was it, guys, from my end as well. I'll just be waiting for another 1 to 2 minutes so that the people who have not filled in the form yet can still do so and get a chance to get in connect with our counselors one-on-one. So I'll just be waiting for another 1 to 2 minutes, guys. Okay. So thank you so much, guys, once again for your lovely participation into the masterclass. We hope to see each and every one of you in our upcoming batches for the program itself. Before winding up the session, just one last thing: if you have not filled in the form yet, and after this session, if you still want to know more about our program, you can simply revisit our website and request a call back from there. We'll get in touch with you and we'll be helping you in the best way possible, guys. Once again, thank you so much for your lovely participation. The masterclass is over now. Have a good day, guys.